My name is Richard Terrill, and my book is essentially a book of essays from Holy Cow Press. Writers are often asked to describe their book in a paragraph or less, which is impossible, or in this case, 3 or 4 minutes. So I've decided to take the lazy man's way out and let somebody else do it for me. And this was from a review of Essentially. It's a chance to hold up the book again. That was in the Minneapolis Star-Tribune a couple of weeks ago as I'm speaking to you, by Pamela Miller, and it begins this way. If you're lucky, you have an old uncle or aunt who is gruff and sweet, plain-spoken and wise, weathered and treasured. Richard Terrill comes across like one of those priceless people in his new book of essays, Essentially, which touches on subjects as disparate as trout fishing, jazz, neighbors, dogs, vintage movies, and aging. Well, I think Miller gets it right in that I have a number of subjects that I found essential enough to write about. I did get a lot of static from my writer friends especially, who asked, who is this wise old uncle that she's referring to? You know, my wife didn't believe it for a moment, but I'll take any compliment I can get, especially from a critic. So Miller goes on to say, his deceptively folksy prose, which occasionally slides into poetry, most poignantly when he's writing of the brilliant doomed jazz pianist Bill Evans, is graceful and conversational, rich in wry wit and insight about himself and others. His observations contain endearing contradictions that we can relate to, such as when he complains about a neighbor's incessantly barking dog, then rhapsodizes about his own pooches, including one that's incurably hell on wheels. I really like referring to myself this way in the third person. It makes me feel vaguely royal, I guess. So Miller decides that the best way to describe the book is to quote samples from the essays. So this is Miller. On his 89-year-old mother who has lost her memory. You just have to get out of bed and start your routine, I tell her. It's a lame proposition, I know. Why, she asks. Her contradictions, out of character for the person she used to be, are now the most rational feature of her discourse. On knowing when to jump in when playing in a jazz band. How to know on which occasions to lay out till you're sure and when to just wing it and play. How much this is like the lives we all lead outside the rehearsal room. Musicians or not, we each listen to the moments as we live them. Play or wait, play or rest. On camping in the Wisconsin wilderness. Evening, the moon is white silver. Cold rises from the earth. It's a good feeling because the cold helps me tell the difference between the body and what's outside of the body. On clueless fellow neighbors and citizens to whom he is unfailingly kind. At any given moment, I don't know much, but I know I don't know much, and although I don't like thinking this way, increasingly it seems to me that other people aren't as aware of their own ignorance as I am of mine. So thanks to Pamela Miller for doing my job for me. And thanks to you for listening to this and reading all books, but especially this one, Essentially, from Holy Cow Press. My name is Richard Terrill. Thank you.